welcome to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Mel Nostalgic Runner, and we are back for another episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 17, and this is episode 7. It's called, hold on. Oh no, I hate when this happens. I'll give you the name of the episode momentarily. I think it was called like Dynasty, Diamonds, and Drama. I think that's what it was called. The brain, she remembered. Yeah, but anyway, without further ado, let's get into the episode. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it slightly differently. I'm going to kind of talk about the episode in order, but really, I want to get into the plot. Like, let's get into the reason why we're here. So, for those who watch my Real Housewives of Rhode Island review, you saw that I did that review first, and I think I might have messed myself up without trying to. So my expectations for Rhode Island was low, but it did what it needed to do for me. And this, I think what killed this for me is there were so many previews for this. Bravo spoiled a lot of what was going on with this to the point where I'm kind of like, I already know what's going on now before I even need to watch the episode. So I pretty much saw the whole episode without needing to watch the episode. And I cannot stand that. That really grinds my gears. I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but I felt that way. So I think moving forward, I'm going to try my best not to watch previews of the episode because the episode was pretty much given away. Like, I saw most of the episode without watching the episode. Yeah. So because that happened, I feel like my expectations were not met, unfortunately. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So we continue the last episode is to be continued. So we're back on the bus and we are still, it's Portia versus Kelly. They're going back and forth. And out of nowhere with this back and forth, I forgot who mentioned a rose, but someone mentioned a rose. And then Pinky, I will say this episode, Pinky and her confessionals, she was cracking me up. Pinky needs to stay. I don't know. I've noticed in some of the chats you hear Pinky needs to go. This person needs to go. I don't agree. Pinky, because she's so polarizing, keep her on the show. And you want to know who else I feel that way about as well? K. Michelle. As much as y'all are giving her such a hard time with this episode, how she's been behaving this season, give her a chance. She's navigating this group very newly, and I think she may have a point. And I'll get to it when we get to it, but I don't think she's wrong on everything she's saying. Now, who is backing her up with this doesn't help her, but I don't think she's wrong all the way. I'm just going to say that and leave it there. Anyway, so someone mentions a rose, and then Pinky and her confessionals like, the way this is going, everybody needs a rose. And then they go from talking about the rose. They're talking about, and they're literally talking about, they went from talking about roses to the rose. And so then basically, all the women out of nowhere start divulging their stories about the rose and how they don't want to use it or how they're scared to use that thing. And it's too early for me to be spilling my own tea, but we're going to spill it a little bit. I will never use one of those things, respectfully. To the point of what Portia said, she feels like it will desensitize you. I feel the same way. I feel like it will desensitize things. So, no thank you. No thank you. Anyway, so then they basically went on to being cool and kumbaya. And while all this was going back and forth, by the way, K. Michelle is just like, so we're all good now? Child, the things I go through to get y'all review. Yes, I'm not going to make it seem like I did something different. A portion of my video got messed up and I have to re-record it. So that's what's happening. I don't have my mic on. We're not doing all that. I don't have time. I want to put it out. So basically what I was saying is that after the rose conversation, K. Michelle's just kind of sitting on, okay, this is all kind of weird, right? And then they do finally get to dinner. Once they get to the dinner, the food looks good. The food looks amazing. But Pinky is down for the count. That tequila got to her a little too much and down for the count. Like, seriously, just knocked out. And so who actually goes to help her? Cynthia. And Cynthia's like, see, this is why you gotta be nice to people. You never know when people are gonna be helping you. And it's like, but Cynthia, girl, I agree, but we're leaving out the part that Pinky did not eat all day, and you're part of the reason why she didn't eat that day. Because you took her to a steakhouse so that she couldn't eat. Because she's vegan. And you knew that already. So, yeah. Anyway, but so she's doing that, getting sick in the restroom, which is unfortunate. And while this is happening, they have all these different appetizers, and Cynthia, I think, is the one who ordered the oysters. And basically with the oysters, Portia out of nowhere is just kind of like, let me check them to make sure they're good. She's like, yep, the Hot Pocket's clean. We're going to say Hot Pocket. Like, because I like saying it. Like, the Hot Pocket's clean. She's like, I don't know about that one. That one might be a little bit dirty. And as she said that, Drew gave this look. And I'm not sure if this look is a look that... I'm trying to figure out if this look was truly a look based off of what Portia said, or was this editing that happened? So, and also K. Michelle gave the look, because now she's just like, is this woman shading me? Child, all for K. Michelle now to put the rumors that were going on about her Hot Pocket up front. And this is the thing that I think K. Michelle does not, she doesn't seem to really, I think it hasn't grasped on her yet, that this audience is a much broader audience than she's ever been a part of. And most of this broad audience don't know your history like that. And they're not going to go back to figure out what your history was. So if you would have paid that dust, it would have done nothing. Honestly. Unless you would have gotten into it with someone and they brought it up. But the fact that you exposed your own tea, girl, I don't understand what that was about. But, and so far the way this is looking on the show is that she's exposing her own tea. But I don't know with this being an edited show. Is it something going on where maybe it was in the show and now it's not? I don't know. I'm kind of confused. So, did Portia do that on purpose or not? We don't know. We'll talk about it a little bit more. So then as this is going on, a conversation about her feeling safe comes up. And she basically says she doesn't feel safe. And then she kind of explains. She doesn't really explain. And that's another thing about what K. Michelle's been doing. She's been vague this whole entire time. So she does at first confront Drew about the black thing. She's like, you keep bringing this up as if like I am, like I know this man. I don't know this man. And Drew is like, no, I only brought it up that one time on the bus. And as all this is happening, Shamia's face says it all. She's just like, and Shamia the whole entire time is whispering under her breath about Drew the whole entire time. And it just it gives that Shamia's a hater and she's immature and she needs to grow up. To the point where the rest of the women are trying to ignore it, including Drew. Drew does call out. She's like, Shamia, do you have something to say? And she's like, no, nothing at all. And Shamia, your passive aggressiveness is mad annoying. And I don't understand why you don't understand that it's really annoying. And it's not good to watch. And most of us are over it. To the point where even K. Michelle calls out. She's like, girl, leave it alone. To Shamia. She's like, drop it. Stop doing that. You're supposed to be trying to make up with Rue, but yet you're doing these passive-aggressive digs. It's weird. And so the rest of the women do proceed to go ahead and try to leave while K. Michelle and Shamia stay behind, and K. Michelle checks Shamia. She's like, why do you do that? And this is what we, as an audience with you, Shamia, are irritated by. You play dumb and you act like you don't know what you're doing. And the fact that you don't know you claim you don't know what you're doing and you're always a victim, it's exhausting. Like, Shamia and Portia are two sides of the same coin. Just like the antithesis of each other, but it's pretty much the same kind of thing. Very immature. It's annoying. It's just Portia, to a certain degree, does a better job. And isn't as cringe. That's the only difference. But anyway, so K. Michelle asks a question, which actually I'm kind of glad she asked because it explains so much. She's like, did you grow up in the hood or you didn't grow up in the hood? Shamia said, no, I didn't grow up in the hood. I'm like, that explains. Because her doing this passive-aggressive stuff, if she grew up in more of a rough neighborhood, that would have never flied. And we know Kate Michelle's background. She's from Memphis. She's a hood girl. And also, too, I'm speaking from my own experience. Her doing this passive-aggressive thing would have never flew if you grew up in a kind of a rough background. Just saying. And so that kind of explained a lot for me. I was like, oh, she just really... It's giving that Shamia is very sheltered. And so when it comes to certain social cues, normalcies, she doesn't... It's missing. And I'm hoping at some point in time we get, like, this season, because I don't want Shamia to be back next season, but I was hoping we would get something more deeper when it comes to Shamia as into why she behaves this way. Because just that little bit gave me more than pretty much we've gotten from Shamia this whole entire time of her being on the show. I'm just keeping it real. But anyway, that's that. Okay. So after that, they get back home and... like I mentioned, K. Michelle checked Shamia, and then fast forward, it's the next day. They're all having breakfast, and K. Michelle, and then Angela asked again, you mentioned you didn't feel safe, and then this is where K. Michelle broke down. Angela was the rest of us when we were looking at her like, girl, what? Because a similar thing that I gotta call K. Michelle out for as well is, girl, use your words. But she finally did say it, but she didn't say it all. So I'm just like, put it on the floor or leave it behind. That's where I'm at with it. But again, I don't move in the passive-aggressive kind of lane, so I don't get how to do that. For real. So maybe that's why I'm just not understanding what's happening here. And I think I feel like a lot of the audience feels this way too. And so she's just like, I can't stand when people are plotting and scheming against me, this, that, and this, and this is the thing, the clip that's been just going around the windmill. And so as she's saying this speech, Shamia constantly is giving just these looks. And it's annoying everyone because Shamia is like, well, I feel the same way. And it's just like, and this is our problem with you, Shamia. You're making K. Michelle struggle your struggle now, which is some bullshit. That's not okay. And this is why we can't ride for you, Shamia, because you do this every time. You made Portia's problems throughout the years your problem. Where's your own issue? Stand on your own and stand on business, something you don't know how to do. And that's why people just give you this look. And so immediately all the women think that Shamia has been in K. Michelle's ear about this whole entire situation. And she's the one who's telling her that the ladies, particularly Portia, Phaedra, and Drew, are plotting against her. Now, do I think some of the women are plotting against her? Yes. I think Portia actually is plotting against her. I do. Do I think Drew is doing anything? I don't think so. If she is, and she's been doing this stuff behind the scenes for years on this show, oh man, she should be studied if that's what she's doing. But I don't think she has it in her, because it's like, if you had this kind of ability, you would be still living in your house. No shade. No shade. I know. It came too quickly. So for those who are not into suns, stars, and moons, I'm an Aries. I just want to call that out. And I'm in my villain era. Okay. Let me just call a thing a thing. I am in my villain era. I read my horoscope and the villain era was starting this year. And so normally I'd be keeping it to myself, but the filter, I ain't got it anymore. I ain't gonna hold you. The filter ain't really filtering anymore. So sorry, not sorry. So for those who've been following my channel before, you're like, yo, you're usually not like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna say with my chest now at this point, because I kind of don't really care. Anyway, so yeah, that's another thing that we got here is that, do I think Phaedra is doing anything? I don't know. If Portia's involved, I think Phaedra would be involved. That's the thing. That's always the thing for me. Frickin' frack to me will always be frickin' fracking. Now, would Phaedra ever be foolish enough to be in the forefront and be obvious about it again? No. Now, do I think that they were going to expose and do all these things that, so according to K. Michelle, they were trying to expose her thing about her hot pocket smelling, the allegations that an ex said to her years and years ago. And you could Google that, because that is actually a thing. But the thing that gets me is like, K. Michelle, if you would have just left it alone, we would have never known about it. Well, those who know knew, but like, we were never, up until she brought it up, I wasn't associating with what Portia was doing to that. But who knows? And then the other thing that K. Michelle keeps saying is, Drew, you keep trying to associate me with this man that I don't really know like that. I'm married. And that's a reach. That is a reach to me. But where did she get this information that the women were plotting this as a plot line against her? You know who and this is so what is intriguing me about this episode is this whole thing, because now Sherlock Holmes is on the case. Okay. I'm here. I'm on the case. I almost just need a hat to say I'm on the case. So who I think has done it? Because now this is a who done it. This is all what this is, and I do like that. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm enjoying it. It's giving murder mystery. I think suspect number one, production. I think this is a production thing. Suspect number two, Kelly. Kelly has been lighting little fires everywhere throughout this whole entire season so far, and no one has called it out. So that way it's not Shamia, but it's Kelly. Do I think Shamia may have told Kelly to do that, or they may have plotted together to do that? Absolutely. Absolutely. So Shamia's hands are clean, as in she didn't do it directly, but I think she has something to do with it. Because Shamia, as much as you be trying to call out that your former friend is messy, you guys were friends for a very long time. So how are you not messy? And you're giving to me a throw your rock, hide your hand kind of girly. So yes, although K. Michelle did not get the information from Shamia, I think the information still came from Shamia. to Kelly to you. That would be if we're not going to do the production thing. Because really, to me, it could be production for the most part. But the second way is how I'm saying it. I think that's exactly how it would happen. Because Pinky would have nothing to do with it. I think it has more or less to do with Shamia and Kelly. Because they have been wanting to make an alliance happen since last season. And it's happening. And it's not happening organically. Y'all caught where I got that from. So yeah, that's kind of what I think is happening. And so they table it. And so while they table it, Cynthia, Portia, Drew, Angela, and Phaedra, they all go to talk to figure out what is going on because they're confused. I think Angela has nothing to do with it because Angela's not a passive-aggressive girly. She puts on the floor, and I like that about her. That's actually my favorite thing about Angela. Angela's messy. She don't give a fuck, and I love it. Like, that is my type of girl. Because she's kind of made it, for those who haven't been paying attention, she's made it known throughout this the confessionals that she really don't mess with any of these other women other than Drew. So throwing Portia under the bus, no problem. Throwing Kelly under the bus, no problem. Throwing Shamia under the bus, no problem. She's doing it to all of them, but Shamia and Kelly are only mad because it's happening to them. But she's actually doing it to all of them. Minus Cynthia and Drew. Them two are the only ones she's not doing it to. Because they haven't done anything messy towards her. She's just returning server energy that was happening all last season. She is a type that forgot, but she didn't forget. And she's slowly getting her get back, and I love that for Angela. Is she messy? Yeah, she never said she wasn't, though. That's the thing. So then, basically, they're trying to figure it out because they're confused. Phaedra seems genuinely confused, and I don't think Phaedra really is. You know what? Because I'm going both sides here. Do I think really this whole thing is true with the plotting? I think I'm more of a maybe than a yes. I don't think it is, though. I think they were talking about some of the things that K. Michelle and stuff went through, but I don't think it was ever going to be exposed on camera like that. And I think Portia just be saying dumb stuff. I don't think it really was a dig. I think Drew read it that way a little bit, but I don't think it really was. Because what I'm trying to figure out with back to the dinner. Let's go back to the dinner. When they were doing the camera reaction to, what Portia said, was Drew's reaction, was she really looking at K. Michelle, or was that just camera tricks where it gave that she was looking at K. Michelle, but she was really just looking at Portia like, girl, why would you say that? It's weird. Because really, the thing about the oysters was weird in general. Even if it was about someone versus not about someone, it was weird. So anyway, they talk it over. It's not giving that they're plotting, but immediately Angela's like, girl, I think Shamia did this. And I'm sorry, I agree. I just don't think she did it directly because I don't think she's, dumb enough to do that. I think she indirectly is doing it. Because a lot of the mess, if you really think about it, that's happened this whole entire season so far has been Shamia. Shamia has been the mess this whole entire time. A lot of it. Portia has been too, but again, to me, two sides of the same coin. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of truth in the middle when it comes to all this. But when it comes to the whodunit part, I think it's the second part where Kelly told K. Michelle, but Kelly and Shamia came up with the scheme to do this together. Along with the scheme about the room situation, along the scheme with all the other, along with the scheme about Pinky eating meat. It seems like it's all by design to get them some people on their side, because Shamea really won this alliance, and she's going to single-handedly kill this show because she wants an alliance so freaking badly. Anyway, next. So then we find out that because this is the day of the gala, by the way. It's the day of the gala, and they are going to, Cynthia is going to have the ladies pick out their gowns. Like, she's supplying all the things. She has her glam ready to go, got their wigs together for them. She's going to drip them in some diamonds. Like, she has it all set up for them. And I was like, Cynthia, you did that, girlie. You did that. And so while we're waiting for all this to happen, and we're all just kind of seated, Shamea decides she's going to walk around in her bikini with her ass out. I mean, ass all the way out. And wanted to have a serious conversation. And I think it was Angela who said, she's like, look at her trying to show off her freaking BBL and think we're going to take her seriously, wanting to have a conversation. Because Shamea's like, ding, 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 ding. Because the whole entire time, by the way, while this was happening, on the other side, Shamea's like, they're going to use me as a scapegoat. They're going to use me as the same scapegoat. And Shamea, you love being a victim. And it's so lame. It's so lame. And not once, with your apologies you've been doing, you've not taken any accountability for anything. Like, again, you two are two sizes. You and Portia are two sides of the same coin. The only difference is Portia's not cringe and she's fun. You are cringe and not fun. You are Miss Try Too Hard. Anyway, so she's trying to have this serious conversation with her ass all the way out. And she's trying to say, I didn't do any of this, and this. Only the thing is, as she's doing this, she's making us and the group feel like, yeah, you did do this. I mean, the whole entire time I'm thinking, oh no, you did do this. You did this. That's what actually reaffirmed that she has something to do with this. Her wanting to have the meeting about not doing this made me think, oh yes, indeed, you did do this. And as they're talking and saying, girl, Angela's like, yeah, no, you did this. But Angela is standing on bitch. She's like, no, I'm the one who said that I think you did this. No one else said it. And he's like, oh, you're going to your team. And it's just like, Shamea in this team situation, I just cannot with her. I don't understand how she is just such an immature person at her big age. Anyway, so then as this is happening, they're going back and forth with that. Shamea's like, quit making it about me. And Angela's like, you have been making this about you. And she has. And then Shamea switches gears. And she's like, you guys keep talking about me and Portia's friendship ending this, that, and this. And why do you keep bringing it up? And Angela's like, because you keep bringing it up. And it actually reaffirms to the clip that we saw earlier in the episode when Drew says, you have trouble resolving things with people. You don't know how to resolve things with people. And it's true. She does not know how to resolve things with people. Because she will forever, even if she resolves things, she's going to hold on to it. Like, she's a grudge holder. And I just really wish she would just say that. Is Angela also a grudge holder? Maybe. But she's handling it a lot better, though. Sorry. You could never make me go against Angela. Sorry, not sorry. But after they go back and forth, then out of nowhere, Drew and because K. Michelle is still trying to stand on it and say that Drew is trying to make this black in her situation thing. And Drew's like, I've only talked to you about it one time. And then they start getting in a little bit of tiff because K. Michelle starts yelling at Drew. Once the yelling started, Drew saw red and she got up. And I love what she said later on in the scene. And Where I come from, you get up before the other person gets up, so you ready. I'm just like, there it is. So let other people tell it. Drew escalated because she got first. Like, no. The first person whose voice went up to here when it could have just stayed here is who got the party started. And that was K. Michelle. And K. Michelle brought up Memphis while Drew brought up Chi-Town. And Drew, you were disappointing. Why are you the one walking away? Anyway, so they get into it. They separate. Drew calls Black immediately. And Black's like, I only said her picture looked good. I didn't say anything that serious, this, that, and this. And he's like, why does she think that you want her to claim me when you won't even claim me? I was like, and Drew's like, exactly. So I don't think Drew has anything to do with this. If the rumors are true about plotting, it would really just only be Portia. It would not be Drew. But I don't know. I'm starting to think Portia it was plotting. I am starting to think that. But anyway, but I also think Shamia's plotting. I think they're both plotting, but in different ways. And that's why I don't trust. Shamia's also plotting. And what gets me about K. Michelle is, if you knew the history of their friendship, why would you be friends with the other one, knowing the history of their friendship? And you think she's plotting. You don't think that the person you're right next to has that kind of thing in her, and she's plotting on the fact that you're not cool with her and she wants to use you now and hitch on your wagon because you're popping. We got to make it make sense. We got to make it make sense here, because right now K. Michelle isn't moving the best when it comes to this show, but I'm going to give her grace. But anyway, we leave it there. The girlies do get ready. They get all this jewelry that is worth lots of money, and they get ready to go to this gala. Now, when they go to this gala, they have the police escorts and all that good stuff. And they also decide they're going to put this beef aside because, like, poor Cynthia, she's tired. She's like, girls, this is my day. Let's table this until we get back to the Atlanta, okay? We don't have to do this right now, okay? And they're like, okay, fine. And so they all go ahead and get ready. Drew, I don't know what she'd be doing to get ready or not get ready. But child, I'm just going to say that. We're going to get to it very shortly. So basically, they all are looking amazing. Shamia, I don't know what Shamia was wearing, though. Shamia, I guess it was supposed to be Dallas, but she still didn't. I don't know. It didn't work for me. The outfit didn't work. Everything, all the other women were looking pristine. I will say that. Kelly looked good for once, because Kelly usually be looking like a mess, and she actually looked good for once. And so we find out, though, that the women are going to get escorted by the police to get to this location. But then as they're about to get ready to go to this location, child, a whole entire hurricane is running up and through that location that they're about to head to. And the assistant's crying. He's emotional. He's freaking out. So they move the party from outside to inside. And honestly, I think it's a better party inside anyway. The way they put that together so quickly and made it do what it do, the inside was a better choice anyway. There was no reason for it to be outside. So anyway, they made the adjustments. Everything was fine. And the women do head to the gala. And they're all pretty much tabling it, letting it be, and just keeping it pushing. Yeah, I'm trying to think, did anything else happen here with this? No, nothing else really happened. So then at the gala, she does try to give this award for this Miss Tequila thing. And all is good when it comes to that. But you know who didn't show up until the very, very end, where the party's pretty much over with? Drew. And all the women are just like, girl, what? You can't make this up. I'm not even sure how and why Drew did not show up to the last minute the way she just showed up. She's like, oh, she showed up over 3 hours late. The party was over. And they're all like, yeah, we're going home now. They're like, oh, really? Oh my gosh. And all dressed up for nothing. And she was looking good too. And that is where the episode ended. Pardon me. Anyways, what did you think about the episode? Let me know in the comments below. I liked it, but like I said, I am going to keep my good eye on Shamia and Kelly, because I really feel like them two are behind a lot of this. Do I think Portia's innocent? No. And I think this little Cold War that's going on between Shamia and Portia is going to implode sooner rather than later. I'm looking forward to that. I do need K. Michelle to work on how she reacts, though, because, girl, she's doing too much. But at the same time, guess what keeps trending and what we are constantly talking about right now? Atlanta. And you know why? K. Michelle. So for those who are trying to get her off the show, I'm going to need y'all to stop, because she's doing her job well. Polarizing it all. One thing that some people need to understand about reality TV, you don't need to like everyone that's on the show. If everyone was likable on the show would not be watchable. It would be boring. Let's just be so for real. But anyway, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel to get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. I will see you next time. Bye.